On March 18, 2018, 91-year-old Mary Annis Battelle was in her house when she had a knock on the door. She lived at the Preston Place Retirement Community in Texas. She opens the door and a man walks in and asks her not to fight him. He then proceeds to take her to her bedroom. He puts a pillow on her face, smothers her, takes her jewelry, and leaves her for dead. A friend finds Mary Annis unconscious but luckily not dead, and she proceeds to call 911. So get this, Mary is missing a ring and her jewelry, and she tells the responding officers that she was attacked, but they dismiss her claims and they say that she fell down and hurt herself.
They thought that she might have fallen and that, she maybe she was brain challenged or something, and that that her friends maybe came in and stole her jewelry, which we thought was the most ridiculous thing we ever heard.
The sons insisted that their mother talk to a detective, and this is when the detective realized that there was someone who was attacking elderly women. So within 24 hours, the police arrest a man called Billy Chemirmir for the attack of Mary Annis. They find Mary Annis's jewelry box, which her children confirmed belonged to their mother. They also found documents belonging to another woman whose family thought she had died of natural causes weeks earlier. The woman is 87-year-old Mary Brooks. A vehicle matching Billy's description was seen leaving Walmart just after Mary Brooks had left, and then she was later found dead on the floor in her condo, and some of her jewelry was also missing. It took Mary Annis's attack for the police to go back on Mary Brooks' death. After he was arrested, the police re-examined 100 deaths that had been ruled as natural causes. The number of elderly people Billy was accused of killing grew to 22 older women, and this is when the trial began. My name is Naomi Ngendo, and let's get into it. So, who is Billy Chemirmir? Billy was born on December 8th, 1972 in Baringo County, Kenya. His father had 3 wives and he grew up with 27 siblings. Billy says that he was a fairly good student and he started caregiving in Kenya, where he took care of his elderly father. He then moved to the States in 2003, where he sold cars and he started working as a caregiver. He got married in 2004 to an American citizen, but his wife filed for a divorce because she says that Billy disappeared. She searched for him online, she asked his family, his employers, and she couldn't find him, and the divorce was finalized in October 2006. So Billy did have some prior issues with the law. Before he was arrested for allegedly killing 22 elderly women, he had been arrested in 2010 for drunk driving and he served 18 months of probation. He was arrested in 2011 for a second charge of drunk driving. In 2012, he was arrested for violence after he beat up his girlfriend. He pleaded guilty and he was sentenced to 70 days in jail. Then in 2016, he was caught trespassing Edgemere, a high-end seniors living complex. He was caught using a fake name and he was also claiming to be an employee there. He was sentenced for 70 days but released after 12. There had been deaths at Edgemere that the police re-examined during the time Billy was there. Police say he killed 91-year-old Phyllis and 94-year-old Phoebe, and he had also stolen their jewelry. Catherine, aged 87, had also died at Edgemere, and although her cause of death was undetermined, her family believed that she was one of his victims. 8 days after Billy left jail for trespassing Edgemere, he went to a senior living facility called the Traditional Prestwood in Dallas, where he killed 82-year-old Joyce and 7 others. He was also accused of killing 8 people in the Parkview, Frisco, and Preston Place in Plano, and 4 deaths at the women's private homes. Let's talk about one of Billy's victims. Her name is Lucy Harris. She's an 81-year-old Vietnamese lady who went on a Walmart shopping run on March 19, 2018. As she was shopping, she was oblivious to a bald shopper who was also in the same Walmart, and he was dressed in some slacks and a collared shirt, and she didn't notice him checking out at the same time as she did, and she didn't notice that they walked out together. Iris was found dead hours later on her bed, and prosecutors say that Billy stalked Harris to her home and smothered her with a pillow. At first it seemed like Harris had died from natural causes in her sleep, but some jewelry and documents were missing. And also a smudge of her lipstick was found on her pillow, and the pathologist determined that she had been smothered. Billy was found with her jewelry box the day after he had attacked Mary Annis, and because the police were staked out at his apartment, they saw him toss something in the dumpster. So what Billy would do is he would pose as a maintenance or healthcare worker. He would gain access to wealthy senior living communities and their homes, and then he would proceed to smother them and rob them. You can imagine how horrified families were when they received phone calls that their loved ones, who they had laid to rest, had possibly been killed and not died from natural causes. Lauren received a phone call in April 2018 from detectives, and this is 2 years after they had buried her mother, Phyllis. The officer says, "I have some shocking news for you. We believe she may not have died of natural causes. We are getting the message across that there is an issue in the independent senior living industry that needs to be resolved so there is true security for the people that live there," she said. Billy maintained his innocence throughout the entire process. He was sentenced to life in prison for smothering 81-year-old Lucy Harris, and he was also found guilty of capital murder for the death of 87-year-old Mary Brooks. While he was serving his life sentence, Billy was killed by his cellmate, who was also serving a sentence for murder, on 19th September 2023 at the age of 50. Families of those who were killed by Billy were shocked when they heard that he had been killed in prison. Shannon Dion, whose 92-year-old mother, Doris Gleason, who was among those Billy was charged with killing, said this at a news conference.
My mother died in fear. This man did not have a peaceful passing. There is some relief in feeling that he didn't get off easily.
There is a documentary documenting his killing spree. It's on Paramount Plus. It's called Pillowcase Murders. It's a docuseries. Also, there's a book by Mary Annis's family. This is the 91-year-old who survived the attack. The book is called Saved, and it talks more about Mary Annis's life and how she stopped the man who was preying on the elderly.
I would like to think that a lot of people were saved because she survived. Also,
She did die a few months later, and her son says that she had forgiven Billy for the attack and that she included him in her prayers every day. And that is the story of Billy Chemirmir, the Kenyan man who went out in pursuit of the American dream but ended up killing 22 elderly people and stealing their possessions. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.